Good morning, everyone. I'm Dave Shatkowski from the Indiana Department of Workforce Development. Pleased to welcome you to a special virtual job fair today for what we call Region 4, which is the kind of west central part of the state. We've got 3 employers with us today. I'm very pleased to have them. Going to be talking about a lot of interesting job opportunities over the next 45 minutes or an hour. So hopefully everyone on today with us will benefit from that. Did want to mention a few housekeeping items. First of all, in your control box in the upper right, there's a couple different options for audio. You should have both computer audio or phone. Both of them should be fine. Sometimes phone is a little bit better, so if you do notice any audio problems as we go along, you might want, and if you're on computer audio, you might want to switch over to phone. If you've got a phone nearby, that might be a little better if there is any issue. Hopefully there won't be, but did just want to mention that. Also in your box there, you will see a couple different tools that you could use as we go along, either the question tool or the chat. If you want to submit any questions as we go along, feel free to do that. Type those in, and we'll be looking for those. We will try to address them if they're for a specific employer as we're going along. We'll try to address them during that portion, but we'll also have a little bit of time at the very end if there's any questions that come in at the end of the program. Finally, just wanted to mention that this program is being recorded, and everybody who registered today, whether you're on live or not, will receive an email with a link to access the recording. Should be tomorrow, I think. I know it's Saturday, but look for that. And if you want to go back and review anything you're going to see or hear today, it'll be a video recording that will have all the slides and all the commentary you're going to hear today if you want to go back and review. So you will be receiving that. So next, or first actually, I would like to introduce Kathy Burns from the Region 4 Workforce Board, who helped organize today's event, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what they do in Region 4. Kathy?
Well, welcome to our December virtual job fair. As mentioned, I'm Kathy Burns, your regional business consultant for our 12-county region. As you can see on the map, we do serve Benton, Carroll, Cass, Clinton, Fountain, Howard, Miami, Montgomery, Tippecanoe, Tipton, Warren, and White counties. I want to thank our economic developers and the Department of Workforce Development for their support of this job fair. This year has been a very strange and challenging year for all of us. As a workforce development board that oversees the Work One system in our region, we strive to support the needs of both our employers and job seekers. And these uncertain times, we're just trying to plug away and do our best to take care of those needs. With that said, thanks again for your time today, and let's get started with our job fair. Thanks.
Okay, well, thanks, Kathy. We'll hear from you again at the very end, but before we get rolling with all the job opportunities, I've got a couple quick, what we call polling questions, just to get a little bit better sense of who our audience is today. So I'm going to go ahead and launch those two one at a time. You'll see them pop up on your screen. The first one is just, are you currently unemployed? Just a simple yes or no answer. If you could fill that out real quick, that would give us a good idea of who's on with us today. Give it just a few more seconds. Go ahead and close that. And I think everybody should be able to see it. Is it 50% yes, 50% no, it looks like, I think, from what I'm seeing. Okay, thanks for that. Second question. In what, let's see here, in what industry is your current or most recent employment? And there's 4 different options. Maybe we should have added an other there, but if you, if any of those fit for you, please check those. Couple more seconds. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close that. Share those results again. Looks like 50% manufacturing, 33% logistics, transportation, and warehousing, 17% healthcare. None in retail, restaurant, and hospitality, but still we got a pretty good mix today. So, all right, well, thanks for that. We're going to move on now. I'd like to introduce today's employers and the representatives from those employers that will be presenting. First of all, we have Banjo Corporation, and with us today is Andrea Coons and Shelley Wagner. So thank them for joining us. Our second employer today will be Closure Systems International, and with us today presenting are Christine Parrish and Caitlin Flynn. We'll be hearing from them a little bit later. And then finally, our third employer today is Crawford Industries, and our presenter today from Crawford is Debbie Keller. So thanks again to all of our employers and our presenters for being with us today. And with that, we're going to get rolling. Our first employer up today is Banjo Corporation. So Andrea or Shelley, I'm not sure who's going to start off, but please tell us a little bit about Banjo.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrea Coons, and I work in human resources at Banjo Corporation and have been here for about 5 years now. For those of you that aren't aware of us, we are located just east of downtown Crawfordsville on Highway 32, just about a mile off of US Interstate 74. What we do at Banjo is we do not produce banjos, unfortunately, but we do produce, manufacture and assemble liquid handling products, primarily for agricultural equipment, but also for some industrial applications as well. So we injection mold and assemble things like valves, fittings, pumps, tank flanges, line strainers, and things like that. And then we ship them out here. This is our global headquarters, and we ship out product all over the world. We are a market leader, and we've been in business for over 60 years now, so that's nice. We're a very stable organization, and even in this very difficult year, we're going gangbusters here, and we have a lot of business and a lot of demand for our product. Just a little bit about our facility. Banjo is climate controlled year-round, so air conditioned in the summer, heat right now. It's a very clean environment. We do some machining here, but we're machining plastic, so it's a clean environment, very safe, and we have lots of opportunities here. So once you're hired here, there's different opportunities in different departments doing different kinds of work and on different shifts. So we've promoted well over 30 folks, even just this year, into different positions. So lots of opportunities here in Banjo if you'd like to build a career with us. We're also active in the community. We partner with several different organizations in the community, and we give opportunities for our employees to go work and do some volunteering with those organizations during their work day. We are part of a larger publicly traded company called Banjo Corporation, and because we're part of a larger organization, that brings some benefits with it, such as, you know, capital investment, new machinery, and a very competitive benefits package that we're able to offer because we are part of a larger publicly traded organization. So that's just a little bit about Banjo, and then we're going to go ahead now and get into the positions that we have available right now. We can go to the next slide.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to talk about 5 opportunities today. So we're going to get started. Looks like the first one is assembler and molding operator. So please tell us a little bit about that opportunity.
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Shelley Wagner, and I also work in HR at Banjo. And some of the opportunities we have available right now, the first is for an assembler and molding operator position. Both of these positions have an hourly base rate of $15. There is also a $2 shift differential for second shift and a $1.50 shift differential for third shift. These shift differentials apply for all of our hourly positions. As an assembler, you will be assembling liquid handling parts using written work instructions and blueprints. Our molding operators, they work to identify part defects and remove excessive flash on parts. Both of these roles require an individual to maintain excellent attendance, be available for overtime, effectively communicate and work on a team, and independently follow procedures and work instructions. These positions also require standing, lifting, and hand and finger grasping and dexterity. As Andrea mentioned, we do offer excellent benefits, medical, dental, vision, life, etc. And those benefits you would be eligible for on day one of employment. Our next position, next slide, please. Our next position is for a shipping associate. The base hourly rate for the shipping associate is $15.75, and the shift differentials would apply as I described in the previous positions. Shipping associates pick customer orders for shipment, barcode parts, and pack using barcode scanners and a computer. In addition to the experience and skills outlined before, the ability to use basic technological devices is also required. Next slide. Our third position is for a process technician. This position pays a minimum of $21 per hour and is a second shift opportunity, that offers a $2 shift differential. As a process technician, you will utilize process setup sheets to mold quality parts as well as troubleshoot and correct molding issues. The requirements previously introduced in the assembly and molding positions do apply for this role. In addition, to be considered for a process technician role, you must have experience working with hand tools and performing basic electrical wiring. You will also have 2 years of injection molding experience, 1 year of molding setup experience, and knowledge of lean manufacturing principles. Next position, please.
Tell us the second shift, what are the hours for that again?
So our second shift position is from 2:00 p.m. until 10:30 p.m. And there is a half-hour unpaid lunch.
Okay.
Okay. Our next position is for a tooling.
So we got another second shift position here. Okay.
Yeah, and the same second shift hours do apply for this position as well. And that is for a tooling setup technician. The minimum hourly wage for this position is $25 per hour and does carry that shift differential with it. The tooling technician is responsible for the setup and operation of our molding machines, maintaining best operating parameters and performing maintenance work on the machines. The tooling technician will work on the production floor to correct issues and reduce machine downtime. The role determines quality of product using various measuring equipment. To be considered for this role, a candidate should have prior tool-making experience, basic computer experience, and knowledge of lean manufacturing principles. And our final position, next slide, is for our second shift supervisor. This position is a salaried role that will have a salary or compensation based on your experience. The second shift supervisor, they will lead our value stream teams in productivity, quality, and cost metrics through planning, coaching, and also ensuring adherence to systems and procedures. A bachelor's degree is required for this role. We will also consider equivalent experience. A successful candidate will also have a minimum of 2 years supervisory experience in manufacturing, as well as other leadership skills such as initiative, attention to detail, and a servant leadership mindset. So those are the 5 roles that I wanted to introduce to you today. I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Andrea to continue on from there.
So before we get into how to apply, you'll see the slide there, but talk about career and growth opportunities. What types of availability there is there at Banjo for career and growth opportunity?
Sure. We encourage all of our associates to consistently look at our bulletin boards for open postings. We post every open position here on all of our bulletin boards, and you are eligible to apply regardless of your length of service. And we will obviously work with you if you're interested in moving up and moving into different roles, having conversations with your direct supervisor, with HR. We will help you grow into the roles that you're interested in. So we look to promote from within on a regular basis. In addition to that, corporate postings across the company are also posted on our website, and employees are encouraged to keep looking at that as well. And if there's anything of interest, they should certainly have a conversation with us and look to apply for those roles.
Okay. And what about recognition programs? I think you have some of those. Tell us a little bit about that.
Andrea, do you want to talk about that? Or
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we have lots of different recognition programs here. We have a High Five program where we are recognizing folks that are going above and beyond in some or completing a project or something. So that involves public recognition and gifts such as gift cards and things like that. We also have a regular quarterly attendance bonus where you can earn additional dollars there. We also have a quarterly employee bonus that recognizes how we're performing as an organization, and that will be based on things like did we meet our shipping forecast for how many dollars we shipped out? Did we meet our productivity goals? Did we meet some of our quality goals? So in addition to that, we have other fun things that we do here, whether it's holiday meals, holiday gifts, lots of different lunches, and there's lots of donuts around here that we're eating, and lots of shirts, and lots of different ways that we try to recognize employees.
Good. And then just before we move on, the work environment, tell us a little bit about that, and specifically address any kind of safety measures that have been implemented in this COVID environment, if you could.
Sure. So obviously a lot of places have seen changes with our current COVID environment, and we have implemented a number of things, increasing our number of hand sanitizer stations. We worked diligently to make sure that all of our workspaces are properly spaced, and where we were not able to do that, we've obviously put up our barriers to help with that so that social distancing can take place. We've adjusted our break rooms and our lunch schedules and break schedules so that we didn't overcrowd our lunch rooms and break rooms. We've addressed our flow from clocking in and clocking out. We do temperature checks as well. We work to maintain a very safe environment and require things like steel-toe shoes. Oh yes, I'm sorry, the most important thing, face masks. Everyone is required to wear a face mask as well. We also require safety shoes, steel-toe shoes, metatarsals in some positions as well. And obviously then PPE is required per position, and there are specific, PPE that must be worn, gloves, etc., for various roles. Andrea, did I miss anything?
No, but I would just say in general, we do have a very safe working environment, and it's also very clean. That's something that a lot of people comment on when they come into our facility. And in terms of the environment, again, it's also a little bit unusual for a manufacturing environment that we are completely climate controlled all year throughout the whole building. All right, are you ready for me to go ahead with the last slide then?
All right, well, thank you for all that. Yeah, so if someone's interested, take us through the steps or the process to go ahead and apply. Tell us about that, please.
Yep. So Shelley mentioned we have positions available in assembly and molding operator and shipping associate. And if you're interested in that, you can send your resume along with all the pertinent contact information to an email address. So it's listed there on the screen, BNJHR, so short for Banjo HR, at idexcorp.com. So just simply email us there. There's some of our positions that are actually posted online, and the couple of more technical positions that we had for second shift, and then the second shift supervisor role, those are posted, and you would need to apply online for those. And you can go to our main corporate website, which is idexcorp.com. And then as with many sites like that, there's a career section. And if you go into the career section and just search for open roles in Indiana, those roles will pop up, and then it easily takes you through the different prompts to apply online and to submit your resume and whatnot. So we'll be looking at all those resumes coming in, and then our first step would be, if we feel that it's a good fit, we would be contacting you to have a phone conversation. A phone interview would really be the first step for those. So we would welcome your resumes and hope that we have some applications that come through from this job fair today. I think that's all we have. If anybody has any questions, we appreciate the time.
I don't have any new questions in at the moment, but we'll see if there's any more at the end. I know you're going to stay with us. So thanks again, Banjo Corporation, Andrea Coons and Shelley Wagner for being with us today. You're going to stay with us, like I said, but we're going to move on to our next employer now, which is Closure Systems International. And we have, again, Christine Parrish and Caitlin Flynn with us. So Christine or Caitlin, again, I'm not sure who's going to start off, but please tell us a little about CSI.
Can you hear me? Perfect. Okay. So, yep, my name is Christine Parrish.
I do now. Yep.
Go ahead. Yep, HR manager here at CSI in Crawfordsville. If you're not familiar with us, we are the world's largest closure manufacturer right here in Crawfordsville, Indiana. We globally produce around 97 billion closures a year. 13 billion coming out of this facility alone in Crawfordsville. Closures, most people call them bottle caps. Pepsi and Coke are our two biggest customers. So you can imagine we're very busy because Coke and Pepsi own everything. We make Gatorade, Powerade, Tropicana, Simply Orange. We do pharmaceutical caps, dairy products, getting into the automotive capping industry. But we are the leading global manufacturer for capping equipment. Our facility is obviously food and beverage grade. So similar to Banjo and how they said, we are very clean, climate controlled facility. Extremely clean because we are food and beverage grade. So in the US, we have several locations, but Crawfordsville is the flagship. It is the largest plant in the CSI network. And that's what we do. Yeah, our major categories are soft drinks, bottled water, juices, sports drinks. Anything with a cap is probably made in Crawfordsville. So we can go to the next.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like we've got a couple different opportunities, so we'll jump right in.
For sure. So
first one is Packer.
Yes. Caitlin, do you want to talk about the Packer role?
Okay. So yeah, kind of our biggest opening right now is a Packer role. We work two different types of shifts, so your day or night, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. or 7 p. to 7 a. It is a 4-on, 4-off schedule, as well as overtime opportunity. And I can say that right now through COVID, there is mandatory versus voluntary overtime, but right now a lot of people are working that 5-on and then 3-off schedule. As a packer, this is kind of our job description. You'll pack and properly label products based on customer orders. The primary focus of this is continuous packing and visual quality inspection and products assigned to meet or exceed customer expectations. This is our entry-level position. It's a great way to get your foot in here at CSI. Kind of like Banjo was stating, we love to hire within, and we especially post our jobs internally first for about a week before we go out to the outside. We're looking for energetic, positive, committed employees. This is a very fast-paced position, and so you're on your feet, you're lifting, we do have lift assists and that kind of stuff as well, but it is a fast-paced job. No high school diploma or GED is required. Some benefits that are kind of unique here at CSI. Day one, your hire date, you are eligible for benefits. There is no waiting period, and our benefits include medical, dental, vision, life, disability, 401k, etc. The starting rate as a packer is 14, but it is negotiable depending on experience and that kind of stuff. 14 to 16 is roughly the range, and then we have a shift differential of 15 cents for days and 50 cents for nights. that's kind of our packer role.
Yeah, and then I can touch on this
All
one.
right, and we'll move on to the next position, maintenance tech.
Yeah, so our maintenance tech position also is a shift position, like Caitlin said, 7A to 7P or 7P to 7A. We work the 4-on 4-off schedule. So we have a lot of injection and compression molding machines, primarily compression, but we do have some injection machines as well. And this role is mainly troubleshooting, performing your basic mechanical maintenance on this equipment, completing root cause investigations for complaints, interpreting our data, repairing our efforts, things that way. High school diploma or GED is required for this role. We're looking for somebody with experience in maintenance, manufacturing, preferably. Our range is 22 to 25 to start for our maintenance positions, which do include the shift differential that Caitlin talked about earlier. We are looking for somebody skilled in heavy manufacturing environment, used to working on machines. Doesn't necessarily have to be compression and injection molding, because what we do is so specific to us. I didn't mention earlier, but here in Crawfordsville, we have 4 locations. We have our machinery building off-site. It's at another location off of Elmore. That's where we actually create the machines that we run our product on. So what we do is so specific to us that you may not have the skill set coming in our specific machines, but just having that experience in maintenance and in manufacturing is good. So those are our 2 big openings right now. We're always looking for qualified machine operators that normally they roll into maintenance after that. Typically people start off in their machine operator role and then get into maintenance. So we're always looking for that as well. Yeah, so.
Okay, well, before we move on to how to apply, let me jump in. Talk about the skill sets you're looking for candidates. You probably touched on that a little bit, but if you could go over that again real quick, we'd appreciate it.
Sure. So looking in the maintenance role, we're looking for somebody that has the manufacturing experience, mechanically inclined, used to working with their hands. In the packer role, like Caitlin mentioned, it is our entry-level position. We have recent high school graduates that have come out and had no formal work experience. We're just looking for somebody that's committed, has good attendance, like Banjo said, and is willing to come in and do the work. With COVID right now, you can imagine staffing is extremely difficult for all of us. But for the packer role, we just need somebody that's ready to work. It's entry level. We can teach you what you need to know. In regards to COVID, like Banjo talked, because we are food and beverage grade, we have very much heightened our safety protocols. We have a point of entry screening before you come in. We also do temperature checks with our thermal cameras that we've invested in. We have to wear our, CSI masks or our CSI gaiters. There's hearing protection. You have to wear hair nets, beard nets, steel-toed shoes. All CSI employees get fitted earplugs. They come and do those fittings a couple times a year. Safety glasses, all the standard PPE. Trying to definitely push the social distancing. It's hard to do in manufacturing because it's so loud in our plants. So sometimes we do have to, get a little bit closer, but we try to maintain that social distancing at all times. So that's what we're going through right now. As far as applying and next steps, our website is csiclosures.com/careers. You can filter it by location, so you'll just want to pick Crawfordsville, and you can see everything that we have open in all 4 of our locations. But primarily today, we're talking about our manufacturing plant. This has my email and line if you have questions or want to reach out after this.
Okay, well, great. Well, before we let you go, if you could also, you probably touched on this a little bit, but again, cover special qualifications. What kind of special qualifications are you looking for?
There really is no special qualification that you have to have for the maintenance position. Always an associate or technical degree in manufacturing or lean, that's a plus. but just having the manufacturing machinery experience. No special qualifications.
Okay, all right. Well, good. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. That was Closure Systems International and Christine Parrish and Caitlin Flynn who took us through that. So again, we appreciate them being with us here today. They're going to stay with us till the end. If there are any other questions, just a reminder again, if you do have any questions for any of our employers, feel free to submit them. We will have a little bit of time at the very end if there are any questions that come in. So please feel free to use the question or the chat tool that you have there on your screen and send us those. All right, well, we're going to move on now to our third and final employer for this morning's virtual job fair, and that is Crawford Industries. Our presenter for Crawford is Debbie Keller, the Human Resource Manager. So Debbie, tell us a little bit about Crawford Industries.
Crawford Industries is located also in Crawfordsville, Indiana. We're located off of Darlington Avenue. We actually have two plants, one in Crawfordsville and one in Thomasville, Georgia. The jobs that I'll talk about today are in our Crawfordsville plant. We are a custom plastic facility. It's interesting that all the day's employers are all plastic related. We are actually an extruder of sheet plastic. So slightly different than the other two employers, but we deal in plastic. We have about 11 extrusion lines, and they produce about 7,500 pounds of plastic sheet a day in all different kinds of sizes and colors. And then unique to us, we can convert that sheet. So from that sheet, we can create packaging, signage, binders. We create a lot of the so-called lamp of shame for dogs, a lot of dog collars. We create a lot of custom date books that are used in universities and colleges and even high schools and middle schools and grade schools. So we are a custom job shop. And between our two plants, we're at about 135 employees right now, and are looking to add a few more people to that.
Well, good. It looks like we're going to talk about 3 employment opportunities for Crawford, so we'll get started. The first position is for a cutter, so please tell us more about that.
Yes, the cutter position is very critical to our operation, as really all our positions today are. But the cutter position operates a machine that cuts a stack of those plastic sheets into the dimensions required, either to send out directly to the customer or to move on to another process in our operation. This position is on the 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift. We do train in-house, so your training might occur on day shift. So we're looking for people that have really good measuring and math skills. It's critical to this position that you be able to measure and have some good math skills. Obviously, previous manufacturing experience is preferred but not required. You don't need a high school diploma as long as you have equivalent skills and abilities. This position does require standing for a long period of time, and you're lifting, pushing, and maneuvering these stacks of sheet around. So it does require the ability to do some material manual movement. And then our wage progression is 1 year. You start off, and then you're reviewed at 3 months, 6 months, and then at the end of the first year. So during that time period, your performance will warrant a potential increase at all 3 of those different time periods. And we offer a benefit package that I have listed as medical, dental, vision, life, short-term and long-term disability. We also offer a retirement plan and paid vacation and holidays. So that's our flat cut department position called a cutter.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to the second opportunity. It looks like it's for an auto screen press operator. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, as I mentioned, we are unique that we convert the plastic sheet into other different applications. And this position does some screen printing onto our plastic sheet. So you would be operating a screen press. and monitoring the quality of the screening during out the run. Anyone who works in that department would tell you you've got to do a lot of diagnosing when the sheet doesn't come out right. And during the run, you may have to make adjustments so that the product meets the customer's specifications. We have customers that are very specific on the colors that come on their jobs. So we take pride in trying to meet exactly what the customer wants. This position is also on the 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift. Because you'll be working with inks and color, you'll need to have normal color vision for this position. And we have a quick color test we provide to those that apply for this position. And again, good measuring and math skills are necessary. Again, because of the detail that our customer requires, attention to detail is very important. Being able to demonstrate that you can handle the detail necessary to ensure good quality product for our customer is very important. As the other position, it does require the ability to stand for long periods of time and to do some manual material movement. And because of the unique machines, you also will need to be able to kneel and stoop occasionally. Obviously, because it's screen printing, you're going to be dealing with chemicals and ink. So you will need to be able to tolerate working with those. And this position also has a 1-year wage progression. So your performance will warrant a possible increase at 3 months, 6 months, and at the end of your first year.
Okay, and thanks for that. And we'll move on to the third available position. Looks like it's Extruder Operator. Talk about that for a couple minutes, please.
As I mentioned, what makes us a little bit different than the other two plastic companies today is we extrude flat plastic sheet. And as I mentioned earlier, we have 11 extrusion lines that run not 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but they run pretty continuously. And we have an opening for an extruder operator on our 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift. This position will be responsible for setting up and operating the plastic extrusion line. They also will need to make appropriate adjustments during the run. We'll also perform some minor and preventative maintenance on the machine. And they were responsible for doing all the quality checks to ensure that the product meets the customer's requirements. This position also requires, again, good measuring and math skills, a good attention to detail. Some basic mechanical knowledge and previous manufacturing experience is preferred. All these positions, we will do some on-the-job training. So don't have to have previous background in any of these positions, although that would be very helpful. But we have a specific on-the-job training program for our extruder operators. That is a 12-week program with some video training, some on-the-job, and some mentoring to complete your training process. Again, a high school diploma or experience demonstrating equivalent skills is required. This position does work in a hot environment. Unfortunately, our extrusion area is not climate controlled. The machines create heat in order to create that plastic sheet. So it is a little hot there in the summer months. It's perfect right now. And again, requires standing for long periods of time and a little bit of strength. You have to be able to loosen the die bolts. So it does take some strength to be able to perform this job, as well as to be able to provide for manual material movement. This position as well has a 1-year wage progression. And there are some incentives for different stages throughout our on-the-job training program for the extruder operator. Not only for you, but your trainer itself. They're incentivized to help the new hire succeed in their position as well.
Okay, well, before we get into how to apply, tell us a little bit about benefit programs. What type of benefit programs does Crawford offer?
We have both a PPO and a HSA plan. So there are two different medical options you have to choose from. We have a short-term disability program. We also have a long-term disability program. Our dental and vision are pretty straightforward. We have life insurance, dependent life, and we also offer supplemental life. So there's a lot of different variety in our benefit programs to best fit what you and your family needs. And you can pick and choose between those. Each one are separate options, so it allows you to pick what best fits your situation.
And how long do new employees have to wait for the benefits to begin?
Unfortunately, ours aren't immediate. The only immediate benefit we have when you're first hired, and that's kind of important right around now, is holiday pay is immediate. Vacation is 6 months. And our medical, dental, vision, all the business benefits like that are available to employees the first of the month following their first 30 days. So it's fairly quickly after hire that you're eligible for the medical, et cetera, benefits.
Okay, good. So if you're interested and you want to apply, take us through that process.
Yes. We have three options. I know not everybody has access to computers all the time. There are always applications in our lobby. We are located back behind the old Kroger on Darlington Avenue and kind of next to Ray Bestis. We have applications in our front lobby in a box in which you can put your completed application. You're more than welcome to email me your resume. HR@crawford-industries.com. And then you also can go online on our website. On our website, there is a tab for employment. And that will have a list of the current openings that we have available. And then another option, if you're not interested in any of our current openings, there is an option to join our talent community. And that would allow you to keep informed of any new opportunities that we have down the pike. It will notify you of those opportunities that might match your current job profile. So that's another opportunity if any of these positions are not something that you're interested in, you can join our talent community for future positions.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Debbie. Appreciate your time this morning. That wraps it up as far as our three employers for today. We do have some time remaining. If there are any questions, I don't see any in the queue at the moment, but if anybody does have any, please go ahead and submit those. We'll be happy to address those to any of the three employers. And we'll give that a couple minutes, but I want to go back for just a few seconds to each of the three employers for some final or closing comments. So let's go back to the beginning with Banjo Corporation, either Andrea or Shelley or both. Any final words or closing comments that you may have?
Sure, this is Andrea, and again, just would encourage you to apply. I don't think I mentioned, during our presentation, but I will just quickly mention now that we have about 275 employees here. And most of our shifts, if you're interested in a shorter shift, most of our shifts are 5 days a week, 8.5 hour shifts. That includes a half-hour unpaid lunch. Or if you're someone that wants to just work a few days a week, we do have weekend shifts where you can work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 12-hour shifts for those. So we do have lots of different types of shifts and first, second, third available, so could pretty much meet any need that you had from a scheduling perspective. So would just encourage you to apply if you're interested. Thanks.
Good, thank you for that again. Secondly, let's go back to Closure Systems International. Either Christine or Caitlin or both. Any final or closing comments that you may have?
Yeah, this is Christine again, just echoing Banjo. Feel free to apply. We look forward to seeing your application. Wanted to highlight just again some of the perks that we offer that maybe I didn't talk about initially in our presentation. Right now, we are giving out a monthly COVID pay bonus of $200. So that is getting ready to be paid out for December to all of our current employees. We have quarterly attendance bonuses, and then we also have monthly reward and recognition. Banjo touched on something similar. So if like the company hits certain metrics or certain goals, there is payouts. So this next paycheck alone, we have over $650 that our current employees could get just this coming paycheck with all of the different rewards and recognition perks that we're offering. So lots of opportunities here to make a little bit extra money. Obviously, we have a ton of overtime available for those people that are interested. Yeah, and we'd love to hear from you guys.
Sounds good. Thank you for that. And thanks again for being with us. And then finally, we just heard from her a few minutes ago, but I'll bring back Debbie Keller from Crawford Industries for any final or closing comments from her.
Yes. Like the other companies, obviously it must be common in manufacturing to have additional opportunities to earn pay. Crawford has productivity bonuses that are paid out monthly. We also have quality bonuses as well as attendance bonuses. And we also recently paid a year-end bonus too. So it must be pretty common in the manufacturing industry to do that. And Crawford has those as well. So you can affect your pay to some degree by your productivity, your quality, and your attendance and get higher than your base rate. And again, if you're not interested in any of the 3 positions we currently have, I encourage you to join our talent community.
Okay, well, good. Thank you again, Debbie, and thanks to all 3 of our employees and all 5 of our presenters today. Appreciate your time. But that concludes our program for today. Before we completely finish up, I'm going to go back to Kathy Burns from Region 4 for a few closing comments from her. And again, remind everyone that you will be receiving a recording of today's program tomorrow. And also wanted to mention we do have a second virtual job fair for this same part of the state scheduled for Monday, I believe at 2 o'clock. And maybe Kathy can mention that a little bit more about that, but I believe we have 5 employers on board for that one. So maybe some of you would be interested in joining us as well. So I'm going to turn it back over to Kathy to close today's program. Kathy?
Yes, thank you for attending. Thank you for the time you've put in for this virtual job fair. It sounds like there's a lot of different opportunities for people who are looking for employment opportunities. So thanks to the employers, and hopefully we can connect. And if you are interested, like Dave said, that we do have another job fair on Monday with 5 other employers. So we've got lots of opportunities. If you need employment, I think you can get it. So thanks for coming, attending, and hopefully we can make these connections. Thanks.